Welcome you all to my class on HSC English First Paper. In today's class, I will explain lesson 1 of Unit 3. The title of Unit 3 is Dreams, and the title of lesson 1 is What is a Dream? Now, dear students, you can remember that in Unit 1 and Unit 2, I discussed, the teachers discussed, different lessons. And remember one thing, that when we are discussing the lessons, we are repeatedly telling you that there are question answers, multiple choice questions. We also practiced some of the question answers and multiple choice questions, and flowchart as well. Now at the same time, there are fill in the gaps activities, both with clues and without clues. There are paragraphs as well in our syllabus, and there are other items that we have already mentioned that we will deal in our next classes. Now in Unit 3 there are 3 lessons. The first one is what is a dream, and in this particular lesson what we will read, or what we expect to have in this particular lesson. Basically, in this particular lesson we will see that how dream has been interpreted, or what theories have been developed over the ages on dream. Now remember one thing, that the word dream has been interpreted in 2 ways, or you can also say that has been viewed from 2 different perspectives. I mean that you can look at dream, or you can think that dream is what we experience during our sleep. So that is dream. And at the same time, you can also realize that dream is something, say for example, dream is aim, dream is goal, dream is objective of life. So dream can be interpreted in 2 ways. I am repeating. Firstly, dream that we experience during our sleep, and dream that we cherish in our life to fulfill. I mean goal, objective or aim. So in lesson 1, what we will see, basically we will focus on dream that we experience during our sleep. And this dream, that we experience during our sleep, what is the relationship between reality and dream? What is the relationship between our actions that we do in our real life situation and dream that we experience during our sleep? So we will see that the theories that have been developed on dream. So what about the theories, and what do the theories tell us, or give information about dream? Whether there is a connection between reality and dream, whether there is a connection between our thoughts or imagination and dream. So these things will be discussed in this particular lesson. Moreover, there will be a task, fill in the gap activities with clues. So these things we will do in lesson number 1. And in lesson 2 there are 2 poems that I will explain in my next class. And in lesson 3 there is a speech, great speech by very popular and familiar speech by Martin Luther King Jr., I Have a Dream. So that is in lesson number 3. So in today's class I will explain this lesson. I mean lesson number 1, what is a dream, and at the same time we will practice fill in the gap activity with clues, and we will see what are the theories on dream. So let's go to our lesson, and before going to the lesson we will practice fill in the gap activity with clues. And obviously this activity has been taken from the textbook, so this is very important. So let's start the activity, fill in the gap activities, and after that I will explain the entire lesson. So let's go to activity. Okay, dear students, now we are going to start the lesson. Lesson 1, what is a dream, and Unit 3, dreams. I have already mentioned that in today's class we are starting Unit 3, dreams. And let's go to the lesson. Now before going to the lesson, usually what we do, we basically focus on the warm-up activity. And usually you know that in warm-up activities you are asked to discuss in pairs or in groups among the students, or between you or among the students of the class. Now since there is no opportunity to discuss these things, issues in the classroom, so it's better to ask yourself, or if there is any opportunity to discuss with your friends online. just ask yourself that what is a dream. So why warm-up activity? Warm-up activity to make you prepared for the lesson. I have already mentioned that we will deal with dream and different issues about a dream. So what is a dream? We all know what is a dream. We experience it in our sleep or during our sleep. So our experience is also our experience varies from one another, but everybody must have experienced dream in his or her lifetime. Many times we experience it. Do you have any dreams? Now this dream is different. Now one that we experience during our sleep, and the other is a kind of aim or objective that we fix for our life. So that is also called dream. So one type of dream we experience during our sleep, and the other type of dream is basically a kind of objective goal or aim that we set for us, and that we try to achieve or gain in our life. So this is how we'll look at dreams. Now, is a dream real or unreal? Now, the kind of dream that we experience during our sleep. So, do you think that it's real, or does it have any connection with reality or not? Or it is completely real, unreal, or impractical? So, what is your opinion about a dream? Is there any relation between dream and action? Now, this is again another question which is very important. That do you think that there is a kind of relation between dream and action? So, what we usually do, and when we dream, so can we connect between our action and our dream? So, is there any possibility of connection between our dream and action that we do? So you can also ask yourself that whether there is any possibility of any connection between the action we do in our real life situation and dream that we experience during our sleep, or do actions have any impact on our dream, or do actions lead us to dream during our sleep? There are different theories about dream. We will read it in today's class. Who is a dreamer? Do you like a dreamer? Why or why not? Now, this dreamer doesn't simply mean that a person who dreams during the sleep. A dreamer is a person who fixes dream, who basically tries to achieve that dream that he has fixed, or who tries to attain the goal or objective or dream, or fulfill the dream of his life. So dream doesn't simply mean, I'm repeatedly telling you, I have already mentioned that dream doesn't simply mean the kind of, experience we have during our sleep. Dream is also a kind of objective or aim that human beings set as goals of their life, as aim of their life, as a objective of their life. So that is also very important. So these are basically the two perspectives that we will through which we will look at a dream and try to interpret a dream. Now, in today's class, contrary to the tradition of the previous classes that I took, in today's class, according to the text, we have a fill in the gap activities at the beginning. So, this fill in the gap activities, with clues, and there are 10 gaps, and the words have been given. So, it's our responsibility. I told you that gradually we will step into different types of items that we have in the HSC first year syllabus. So we have already developed a habit of reading the text, understanding the lesson, and now we are gradually, going to different items like fill in the gaps activities. Then we will also have classes on paragraph writing. We will have classes on different types of flow chart. We will have classes on graph chart, pie chart, so theme and summary writing, so email writing. There are different items in the syllabus of HSC first year. Now in today's class we are starting basically this task. We are starting with this task, and this task is fill in the gap activities with clues. The clues are given, and I have taken it from the text. So it's taken from the text, and whenever you find or you see
any fill in the gap activities or any kind of activity in the textbook, remember that that is very important. Whether it's paragraph writing, whether it's graph chart writing, whether it's fill in the gap activities with clues or without clues, whatever it is, because the book has been designed in that way so that the students get a complete package from the book. And this is a beautiful passage in which you can practice, where you can practice fill in the gap activities with clues. Now whenever you will be given, now here you will be given more words than you require, but it will not happen all the time. Now these words, there are some words at the beginning, and then you are given a passage and you have to insert the necessary words, the appropriate words in those blanks. Since I have taken this exercise from the text, so there are more number of words than we need. All of us know. At first what we will do, let's read the words first and let's try to understand the meaning of the words. And basically whenever you will be given fill in the gap activity, it's my suggestion to you to read the item twice. Don't try to answer or don't try to fill in the gap at the first reading or after the first reading. Have a first reading, and in your second reading try to insert the words in the gaps. Now, the words color, the meaning of color. Nightmare, nightmare means the kind of frightening dream you experience during sleep. So sometimes the dreams are sweet and sometimes the dreams can be horrible. So nightmare is the second type of dream that sometimes we also experience horrible type of things or dreams. They are termed as nightmare. Imagination, you all know that what is imagination, that we always imagine. Daydream, daydream means, there are two ways you can look at the word. Most appropriate way is to look at the word from the point of view that daydream is the kind of dream which is futile, which doesn't have basically any significance. That is daydream. Reverie, reverie means again daydream. So reverie is the single word. Daydream, it's a combined word. Romantic, what is romantic? Full of passions, full of emotions. That is romantic. A hallucination. Hallucination means to visualize something that doesn't exist in reality. So that is the hallucination. It's a kind of psychological crisis. It's a kind of psychological disease that a person experiences. Sometimes it's termed as a psychological disease, a hallucination. But the problem is that this many people or most of the people at some point in their lives they hallucinate. So hallucinating once or twice is no problem, but if we develop the habit of hallucinating every day, now and then it becomes a disease, then it's termed as a disease. But naturally or usually every person in his lifetime, once, twice or thrice, he or she hallucinates. There is no harm in that, it's very natural. But as I said earlier, that if you start the habit of hallucinating every day or frequently, then it becomes a disease. Hallucination, I am again telling you that hallucination means that you are observing, you are watching an object that basically doesn't exist in reality. Shadowy, you know what is the meaning of shadow. Silvery, silvery is dreamy, it's silvery, something like that. Short lasting, it doesn't last for a long time, usually for a minimum period of time. Dreamy, who is a dreamy person? A person who dreams. Dreamy state, dreamy person. Dreamer, a person who dreams is a dreamer. Reality, just opposite of imagination. Imagination is one thing and the opposite thing is reality. Reality is one thing and imagination is just the opposite. Pleasant, something which is beautiful. Haunting, over here haunting is basically frightening, intimidating or frightening. Fragments, it's not complete, it's a fragmentary or fragments, broken things or fragmented things, we say. It's not complete, anything complete. Now let's read the passage first, and then we will try to insert the necessary words from the list that has been given above. All of us know what a dream is. Generally, we dream during our sleep. So the meaning of the first sentence is all of us know what a dream is. So very simple sentence that everybody knows what a dream is. Generally or usually we dream during our sleep. That is also a very simple sentence that we dream during our sleep. There is nothing difficult in this sentence. Dreams may appear to be short or long lasting. So this is important that dreams may appear, may seem, it doesn't mean that dreams are short or long lasting. It says, very significant, try to understand, dreams may appear. It doesn't claim that dreams are. It, it says that dreams may appear, may seem. So it's not sure that whether dream is basically short lasting or long lasting. To be short or long lasting. So dream may appear to be short or long lasting. Sometimes we say I dreamed for the whole night. Sometimes we develop, we say, we opine, or we express our wonder that do you know that I dreamed all over the night, throughout the whole night. So, do we really experience or do we really have dreamed throughout the night? We are not sure. But do we really dream for the whole night? Some dreams are sweet or. So here is a gap. Now, which word from the above we will select over here? Some dreams are sweet or. You know that and is a kind of conjunction or and is a kind of connector that basically connects, usually that connects similar type of words. And or is a kind of connector that usually connects opposite or words which is basically not antonym, just opposite to the previous word or opposite to the previous clause in meaning, of course, or opposite to the previous phrase. So there is a difference between and or. Now some dreams are sweet or, so you have to select the word from the above list. So which word you can select? Just try to gaze. So you have to choose a word which is to some extent opposite to the word sweet. So look at the list. Color, no, nightmare, imagination, daydream, reverie, romantic, hallucination, shadowy, silvery, short lasting, dreamy, dreamer, reality, present, haunting, fragments. Now haunting is to some extent close because this is the word which is more or less opposite to the word sweet. So you can think about this word. I am not saying that this is the answer, but you can think about this word. Some are horrible. When we dream something extremely bad, we call it, so what do we call? When we dream something bad, when we dream something horrible, I have already said that we call it nightmare because you know that nightmare is that type of dream which is very haunting, which is frightening, which is intimidating. So when a person dreams something which is horrible, then it is called a nightmare. So you can think about the word nightmare. I am not saying that this is going to be the answer. I will show you the answer in the next slide. But right now we are simply discussing that what can be the answer, what can be the appropriate word to choose in the gaps. This is interesting that dreams have no, so dreams have what? Dreams have no, I guess that color can be used in this gap. If you say dreams have no nightmare, imagination, and if you you know look at other words, so you can see that color is more appropriate because reverie, romantic, hallucination, shadowy, silvery, short lasting, dreamer, reality, present, haunting, fragments. uh, I don't think that there is any other word which is appropriate for this gap. So that is why we can think about the word. This is interesting that dreams have no color. They are soft, then gap, and gap. So dreams, they are soft. Who are soft? Dreams are soft. So dreams are soft. If we look at the list, then there are some possible words. Dreams are soft. You can think about romantic. You can think about shadowy. You can think about silvery. You can think about short lasting. So you can think about pleasant, you know. So you can think about at least 4 or 5 words for these two gaps. So romantic, shadowy, silvery, short lasting, uh, then pleasant. You can think about these words. So I said that read the passage at least twice to get the appropriate words. Do you know how the words gap and again gap differ from dream? Now you have to identify, you have to select two words which are more or less, not completely opposite, but they are different. And they are also different from dream. So let's look at the list that what can be the two words that are different from dream and still they are to some extent connected, yet they have differences. So if we look at the list, we find two words: imagination and hallucination. I have said, imagination. What is imagination? Every person imagines. And hallucination, I have said, again I am repeating, hallucination is basically observing something which doesn't exist in reality. So it doesn't exist in reality, but still a person observes sometimes. That is hallucination. So, do you know how the words imagination and hallucination or hallucination and imagination differ from dream? Do you know any dreamer? So, naturally, the word that comes to our mind, do you know any dreamer? So, you can think about this option, dreamer. What do they do? Does dream have any relation with reality? So, whenever we talk about dream, whenever we talk about a dreaming state, then there is always the question that whether it has got any connection with reality or not. So since we have got the word in the list, so we can say that does dream have any relation with reality? Do we always dream during our sleep? The dream we have during the daytime is called, when I explain the words, I said that reverie basically means daydream. So you can think about reverie or you can also think about the word daydream. So both can be appropriate over here. So sometimes we long for something so passionately, that means eagerly, earnestly, we call that a dream as well. So this is the first reading, and even in our first reading, we gazed some answers. We gazed, and then you will again read. So this was the first reading. You just gazed. Then it doesn't mean that you will get all the words or you will be able to fill in all the gaps in your first reading. That is why second reading is very important. And when you will read the passage second time, you will get the appropriate words. And we have already developed an idea about the passage, and we have already developed, already come to understand the words in the list. Now, if we look at the answer, then it will be much clearer to us. Now, let's look at the answer. All of us know what a dream is. Generally, we dream during our sleep. Dreams may appear to be short or long lasting. Sometimes we say, I dreamed for the whole night, but do we really dream for the whole night? Some dreams are sweet or haunting. When I was gazing the answer, I said that over here, since the connector or has been used, so we need a kind of word which is to some extent opposite to the word of sweet. That is why haunting or fright, haunting means frightening over here. So haunting is appropriate in this gap. Some are horrible. When we dream something extremely bad, we call it a nightmare. We also gazed this word. So if you know the meaning of the word nightmare, then you will easily get the word or get the answer. That is nightmare. This is interesting that dreams have no color. We have also gazed this word. that dreams basically have no color. So this is our gaze is also right over here. They are soft, silvery, and pleasant. Here we guessed 4 or 5 words. So they are soft, silvery, and pleasant. These options I have accepted over here. Now, if you think that instead of silvery and pleasant, you want to choose a different word. Now, I think that instead of silvery and pleasant, now let's look at the list. There was shadowy, you know so you can also use shadowy as well. This is since it's a long list, so that's why you have got options. So there was also a romantic, there is shadowy, there is pleasant, there is short lasting, there is silvery. So instead of those 2 words that I have used, you can also use these words. But I thought that these are the most appropriate 2 words, that they are soft, silvery, and pleasant. So instead of romantic or shadowy, I have used silvery and pleasant. But I personally feel that those words are also appropriate over here. I mean, romantic or shadowy, those words are also appropriate. Do you know how the words imagination and hallucination differ from dream? I guessed that imagination and hallucination. Why I guessed these 2 words? Because imagination and hallucination, they are different from each other, and these 2 words are also different from dream. So imagination, you imagine, and so imagination, at least it has got some connection, at minimum connection with reality. Sometimes we have to be imaginative. If we want to achieve something, we have to be imaginative. So this imagination inspires us. This imagination drives us. On the other hand, hallucination is something that doesn't exist in reality. So these 2 words are different from dream, and these 2 words are also different from each other. Do you know any dreamer? We guessed, so this one is also right. This one is easy. What do they do? Does dream have any relation with reality? That's our gaze is also right over here. Do we always dream during our sleep? The dream we have during the daytime is called reverie. So instead of reverie, we could also use the word, um, uh, daydream. So daydream or reverie, they mean the same thing. So instead of daydream, I used reverie. What does reverie mean? Daydream. Why did I use the word reverie? Because reverie is more appropriate than the word daydream. That's why I used it. Now, sometimes we long for something so passionately, we call that a dream as well. So that's how the passage, this fill in the gap activities ends. Now, dear students, let's start reading the lesson. This was basically a fill in the gap activity. We are starting the lesson now. Now, the lesson starts with this sentence. Dreams, we all know that we are dealing with dreams. Now, dreams have fascinated, that means impressed, philosophers for thousands of years, but only recently have dreams been subjected to empirical research and scientific study. Now, dreams have fascinated philosophers, dreams have impressed philosophers for thousands of years, that means for a long time. So, the fascination about dreams is not a new phenomenon. Now, dreams have fascinated our philosophers for a long time, for thousands of years. But what is significant that the research on dream, empirical research, practical, realistic, statistical research, and scientific research or study on dreams are basically latest phenomena. These are new things. So dreams have fascinated philosophers for a long time. There is no doubt about it. But empirical or realistic and practical and statistical data, these sort of research and scientific research or study on dreams is basically a new phenomenon. It's new. Chances are that you have often found yourself puzzling over the content of a dream. Not chances simply, we can say that it's true. Chances there means that there is possibility that you have often found yourself puzzling, that confusing over the content of a dream. Say for example, you had a dream last night. You experienced a dream last night, and the content of the dream, it makes you puzzling, it makes you confusing, and you cannot even say that why did you have that type of dream. You can sometimes imagine, you can sometimes wonder that why did I experience this dream, because I have never thought about it in my life. But still you experience that dream. So it's true, there is the possibility. Or perhaps you have wondered why you dream at all, and this is more interesting, that sometimes people wonder that why did I dream at all, or why do people dream at all. So what is the reason that people dream at all? So dreams basically are puzzling people for a long time, because and the passage says that it has fascinated, it has impressed philosophers for a long time. And scientific study or empirical research on dreams is rather a latest phenomenon, a latest reality. And people think sometimes about the content of the dream that they experience at night. And they wonder, they become astonished that why did they have that kind of dream? And they sometimes we also think that what is the reason of our dreaming at all? First, let's start by answering a basic question. So it's a basic question: what is a dream? So that should be answered first. A dream can include any of the images. This is significant. A dream is basically a kind of picture or many pictures, thoughts, not only pictures, combination of pictures, thoughts, and emotions. So it's not simply pictures or images, it's not simply thoughts, it's not simply emotions. These are basically the amalgamation of images, thoughts, and emotions that are experienced during sleep. So we have all these things during our sleep. The images, the thoughts, the emotions, all these things are experienced during our sleep, and we call them dream. Dreams can be extraordinarily vivid. So some dreams are very vivid. Vivid means full of life, as if they happened in reality. Or very vague. Vague means unclear. So some of the dreams you can recollect clearly. It seems that they basically happened in front of your eyes. And some of the dreams, they are very unclear. And you cannot even say that why did you have that dream at all. Filled with joyful emotions or frightening images. Some of the dreams, they make you, they are full of joyful emotions. And some of the dreams are basically frightening images. You watch something which is horrifying, which is frightening. So some of the dreams are joyful and some of the dreams are frightening. Focused and understandable, or unclear and confusing. Some dreams are focused. You can clearly tell that I had a dream on that issue. And you can understand that this is the meaning of the dream, or this is what I experienced during my dream. You can clearly say that. And some dreams, there are some kind of dreams which you cannot say, and because those dreams are completely unclear. And even if you try to recollect what you had in your dream, you cannot even say for granted that this is exactly what you had in your dream. And those dreams are also confusing because they have no connection with your real life thoughts. Why do we dream? What purpose do dreams serve? Very basic questions about dream. While many theories have been proposed, no consensus has emerged. No agreement, no consensus, no unanimous approach has been achieved so far. There is still variation. There is still division among different theories. Many theories have been proposed, but there is no authentic theory about dream. And the questions, what are the basic questions, that why do we dream and what purpose do dreams serve? So when we look for the answers of these questions, we have not yet got the proper answer, because there is still disagreement among the researchers and philosophers. Considering the time we spend in a dreaming state, so the time we spend during our dream, the fact that researchers do not yet understand the purpose of dreams may seem baffling. So the researchers cannot understand what is the purpose of the dream. So baffling means puzzling. So the purpose of the dream is still puzzling for the researchers. They cannot say that what is the reason, or why did we dream at all. So the purpose is still puzzling or baffling for the researchers. However, it is important to consider that science is still unraveling the exact purpose and function of sleep itself. So let alone dream. Scientists are still trying to unravel, means explore, unveil the purpose and function of sleep itself. So scientists are still trying to explore the exact purpose and function of sleep itself, let alone dream. So dream is the second state. Scientists have not yet got the purpose, or not yet explored the purpose and function of sleep itself, so let alone dream. Some researchers suggest that dreams serve no real purpose. So there are some researchers who say that dreams serve no real purpose, so there is no meaning of dream and they have no purpose. While others believe that dreaming is essential to mental, emotional and physical well-being. But there are other researchers who believe that dreaming is very essential for our mental, emotional and physical well-being. So this is very important. Remember, dear students, that dreaming, some researchers are there who say that dreaming is essential for our mental, our emotional and physical well-being. So there are two opposite views. Some say that dreams have no real purpose, and some say that obviously dreams have purpose and they serve purpose to our mental, emotional and physical well-being. Now we will read some of the prominent dream theories. Consistent with the psychoanalytic perspective, psychoanalytic perspective means the focus is on the psychological analysis of man or human beings. So from this point of view, if we study the psychology of man or human beings, and if we try to connect it with a dream, then we will have some results. Now, Sigmund Freud is very important and very prominent figure in this area. His theory of dreams suggests that dreams are a representation of unconscious desires. So according to Freud's theory, dream is nothing but the representation, manifestation of our unconscious desires, thoughts and motivations. So in simple words, we have some unconscious desires. Unconscious means that we don't do it. We are not aware of these things. We are unaware of our desires, and dreams are the result of those unaware desires. So unconscious desires, thoughts and motivations. So dreams are basically the representation of our unconscious desires, our unconscious thoughts and our unconscious motivations. You can also say dreams are the manifestations or the outcome of our unconscious desires, thoughts and motivations or inspirations. According to Freud, people are driven by aggressive and sexual instincts that are repressed from conscious awareness. So Freud says that people cannot express their aggressive behavior and their physical desires openly. So they repress or suppress their desires. And these suppressed desires are expressed through dreams. So these things are expressed which people cannot express consciously. This inability of expressing their physical desires and aggression openly are basically find the scope to come out through dreams. So very interesting theory, very significant theory, that dreams are basically the manifestation or expression and of our repressed and oppressed desires. While these thoughts are not consciously expressed, so when people fail to express their physical desires and their aggression, they find their way into our awareness via dreams. So they come out through dreams. So that is interesting, that when we cannot express our thoughts, our physical desires, our aggression openly, these things unconsciously come through our dreams. In his famous book, The Interpretation of Dreams, Freud wrote that dreams are disguised fulfillments of repressed wishes. So this book is very famous, The Interpretation of Dreams. And in this book, Freud wrote that dreams are, so this is the definition of dreams by Freud, disguised. Disguise means that when a person is disguised, he does not want to make other people know his identity. So this is disguised fulfillments of repressed wishes. So people's wishes, when people's wishes are repressed or oppressed, so these repressed and oppressed wishes are expressed through dreams. So that is why Freud said that dreams are disguised fulfillments of repressed wishes. So this is a very beautiful definition given by Freud. Now, Freud's theory contributed to the popularity of dream interpretation. So when Freud gave this theory, this contributed to the popularity of dream interpretation. Other theorists, they also came to give their opinion about dream. Following his paths, many theorists came up with their own ideas. So many theorists, they also came after Freud, and they also wanted to give theory about dream. The following are just a few of them. So we will read some of the important and some of the popular theories given by other philosophers and other theorists. And remember one thing, that those theorists were inspired by basically Freud's theory. So according to one of the theorists, some researchers suggest that dreams are a subjective interpretation. Subjective means your the expression of our emotions. So dreams are subjective interpretation of signals generated by the brain during sleep. So brain produces some signals, and these signals, they emotionally, they come out, they come out emotionally, and that is why these researchers have used the term subjective interpretation. So they come out emotionally, they come out subjectively, they come out through our passions. So brain creates some signal in our mind, and those signals come out through our passions and emotions via dreams. I am repeating again. Brain creates or generates some signals in our mind during sleep, and those signals find outlet through dreams and through our emotional expression in or through dreams during our sleep. So dreams are not meaningless. So since it has got a connection, that's why these researchers claim that dreams are not meaningless. Instead, during dreams, the cognitive, that means intellectual or reasoning elements in our brain produce new ideas. So according to these theorists and these researchers, our brain are not idle during our sleep. Our brains still continue their function. And that is why the cognitive elements, that means the reasoning, the intellectual faculty, the thinking faculty of the brain, it produces new ideas. Another theory, that one theory suggests that dreams are the result of our brains trying to interpret external stimuli during sleep. So there is another theory according to which there is external theory and external stimuli, and when our brain tries to respond to that external stimuli during sleep, we human beings respond to different stimuli when we are aware, when we are conscious. But according to this theory, even when we are in the dream, in the state of sleep, we are sleeping. Even at that time, our brain sometimes responds to the stimuli, and at that time, dream is generated. So at that time, dream is generated when our brain responds to the external stimuli during the sleep. Very significant theory. Our brain tries to respond to the external stimuli during the sleep, and then the dream originates. For example, the sound of radio may be incorporated into the content of a dream. So there is the sound of the radio, and when you listen to the sound of the radio, even during the sleep, it can work as a stimuli, as I explained earlier. Another theory uses a computer metaphor. Metaphor is a kind of comparison. Computer metaphor means that a kind of comparison will be drawn here between computer and human brain. To account for dreams, account for means responsible for dreams, according to this theory, dreams serve to clean up clutter. Clutter means confusion or a kind of jam from the mind, much like cleanup operations in a computer, refreshing the mind to prepare for the next day. So you all use computer. So there is the refresh option. You sometimes refresh. So why do we refresh the computer? We try to clean up clutter. That means we try to clean up a kind of mess, a kind of confusion, a kind of jam in the computer. We want to clean up files, different files, so that the computer gains speed. So why do we do that? We refresh the computer so that the computer runs well. So dreams, according to these theorists, are also like those, refreshing that we do in the computer, so that we can start our life, start our new day with new spirit. Much like cleanup operations in a computer, refreshing the mind to prepare for the next day. So as we refresh our computer, similarly, dreams also refresh our mind so that we can start our new day. This is also very interesting. Yet another model proposes that dreams function as a form of psychotherapy. According to another model, dream works also as a psychotherapy. In this theory, the dreamer is able to make connections between different thoughts and emotions in a safe environment. So it's a kind of psychotherapy. Psychotherapy means it's a kind of the psychological therapy which works for brain. According to this theory, the dreamer is able to make connections between different thoughts and emotions in a safe environment. A dream is a safe environment, and whatever you dream in your sleep, you cannot, you are not supposed to give any, answer or any queries. You are not supposed to give answer to the queries of people. Nobody is coming to ask you that why did you dream that. It's a safe environment. You can dream anything in your sleep. Nobody will ask you why did you dream that. So why did you dream it during your sleep? Nobody will ask you. So according to this theory, it's a safe environment when human beings have their dream. So dear students, in today's class we did an activity on fill in the gaps. I mean, fill in the gaps with clues, and we also read the whole passage. And I also explained at the very beginning that in the warm-up activities, the difference between not difference, the two types of dream that we have to remember. One that we experience during our sleep, and the other which is objective and aim of our life. Now, what is important from this passage? Summary is also important. Fill in the gap is activities is very important from this passage. And basically, since there are many questions, this passage is full of questions, and the answer, the theories, that different theories that have been proposed about dream, they are the answers. So you know the questions, what are the important questions from this passage, and you also know the answer obviously very well. So in our next class we will start the next lesson, And in the next lesson is basically we will start also a summary and theme writing. We will read poems as well. I hope that you will also attend the next class. So till my next class, I would like to say goodbye to you. Stay safe. Thank you very much.